Leagues Cup started, I was with LA Galaxy, and I wasn't playing much that year. And thanks to Leagues Cup, I end up being subbed in a game, halftime. Fortunately, a friend of mine got injured, but we were playing against León, and estaba jugando contra León, y a la media parte se lesionó el que jugaba conmigo, y me pusieron a jugar. I did super well on that game, and I played the rest of the season. So for me, Leagues Cup has a lot of meaning to me, and I'm very excited that this year, it's going to be played in Mexico. I think this will give a lot of credibility, and it will be super excited. As a player, Greg and Miguel, playing in those amazing stadiums, fans are very passionate in Mexico, as you guys know. So I think it will be super good. I'm very excited. By the way, I'm going to be in Toluca, watching the Toluca Seattle one. That's going to be a good one. And also I'll be in that's Azteca. So if anybody's there, you want to reach out, please. I want to know all the good restaurants over there. And no further ado, I want to introduce the Director Ejecutivo de Leagues Cup and Executive Director of Leagues Cup, Tom Mayo. Round of applause for him, please. Without him, it wouldn't be impossible. And also Miguel Gallardo, he's going to be the moderator after it.
Thank you. Thank you, Yuri. I want to be more precise. It's 6 days, 6 hours, 15 minutes until kickoff. Got it dialed.
So you've been thinking about it much?
Yeah.
By the way, don't let this guy fool you. This guy was an incredible player. You know what my nickname for him was? El Bombero, the firefighter. Because as defensive midfielder, he would just put out fires left and right, and play for Barcelona, Sporting Kansas City champion. He was fantastic with Orlando City. Humble guy, even better player, I would say.
Thank you.
Tom, great to be here. Obviously, we're very excited about Leagues Cup. It seems like the Leagues Cup continues to evolve, which is something I personally like, covering with Apple TV over the last few years. And I really appreciate that, because it seems like you guys make an effort to look at it every single year, and is what can I do to make it better. So, algo que me gusta mucho de esta liga es que es una liga nueva, pero que cada año la van analizando y están dándose cuenta qué podemos mejorar, y no les da miedo hacer cambios para mejorarla. So, tell us a little bit about the evolution. What do you see for this year in terms of changes from the years before?
Thank you very much, and thank you all for the media for your support as well. Leagues Cup is a growing competition, and we really appreciate it. I think our job actually starts on the first day after the tournament finishes, and I say that to our team. It's sort of like we're in autopilot right now as we're in delivery phase. But I think we spent a lot of time this year getting down to the nuts and bolts on what makes this tournament work. I think we saw the format change that we saw last year, tick, success. Liga MX versus MLS, all the way through, including the quarterfinals. How great's that? We love the penalty shootouts, right? All the players love the penalty shootouts.
Except for that Vancouver versus León a couple of years ago. I think it was like 47 PKs.
Yeah, great TV. Like but I think that makes it, it's a really entertaining match for families to come and visit. So we sort of looked at those areas that were great, and we said, look, how can we improve it? How can we make it better again? So, and I think part of that was this evolution that we've seen with these 4 matches in Mexico. But there's been lots of subtle changes internally. The brand, the color, the way we're communicating with fans. Lots of things have changed within that allows us to be in this great place coming out of the World Cup into Leagues Cup in a short period.
Fantastic. Obviously, Uri alluded to now the Leagues Cup is going to be played in Mexico. Yes. And 3 of the best cities in Mexico, so I must say. Hit me up with the restaurant recommendations. I know a few taco spots. I consider myself a taco connoisseur. Algo de la evolución de la liga que se va a jugar obviamente en México, que es algo diferente. Tell me why. What was the thought process there, and how do you think this is going to change? ¿Cómo va a cambiar el torneo en este año?
I think, look, in previous years we held neutral site matches for those top-ranked Liga MX teams, And then we looked at it again this year, and I think Liga MX, working with them as a partner, they were saying, well, look, what about we take some of those neutral matches to Mexico and play them in the stadium? So we did this evaluation with them. And, what's amazing is we're going to go and play in these cathedrals of soccer. I mean, Azteca, Universitario, and then Toluca. And I've spent time in the stadiums. I've spent time with all the teams down there. So I think it's just been this initial step. We'll look at it and see what the feedback's like. But so far, it's great. Like the conversations, whether it's social, whether it's ticket sales, it's exciting.
Yeah, and I think that's it brings just a different element of one parity. I think one of the big conversations was about how can we make this a little bit more even if it's on paper. But I think from the players' perspective, the fact that they get an opportunity to go play in these iconic stadiums, like you mentioned, not just for the experience, but also for the competitive experience, meaning to have to play in those hostile environments, it just makes you better as a player. So I think it's a really good add-on. Talk to me a little bit about just the momentum coming from the World Cup. How are you guys capitalizing on the momentum? Hablaba de la importancia para el jugador de ir a estos estadios, estas catedrales de fútbol, como él lo menciona, para darle un poquito más de balance, pero también el jugador lo aprecia porque el jugador crece en cuanto a experiencia de jugar en partidos en ambientes relativamente complicados, un poquito más pesados, con un poquito más de presión. Así que como jugador creo que eso le va a ayudar mucho al jugador. Le pregunto de cómo va a aprovechar Leagues Cup este impulso después de la Copa Mundial.
Look, it was we almost went through it last year with the Club World Cup, and this year we had the World Cup, and we thought, look, rather than shying away from it, we lent into it, and we said, look, what an amazing opportunity to come alongside it, keep the conversations going through it. So we were advertising, talking to media, doing anything we possibly could at the stage, and especially on that club level, local club level, to keep the conversation about Leagues Cup. And what we saw was the ticket sales starting to come. And at first, you're sort of nervous around it and going, look, during the World Cup with all of these full stadiums, but there was incredible support. And I think what we also saw is as those players like Moro with Tijuana, as they started to shine, people are like, well, hey, I can go and see Tijuana San Diego. Let's go and do that. So they were jumping in. So we saw that momentum. We focused on it as well. But I also saw this really interesting side, which you mentioned earlier, which is around the next generation of players, right? The Leagues Cup may be the pathway for this 17, 18-year-old who's going to be in the World Cup in 8 years, right? And it's their first international tournament. They're going to turn up at Chivas LAFC in Los Angeles, and it's going to be frightening, right? Their first time. It's going to be, or they're going to go in front of 60,000 in, Club America. And once again, it's daunting. But this is, not only is it great for the established players, but also for those new players, like you said, a great experience.
Yeah, for sure. I completely agree. Habla de aprovechar el impulso de la Copa Mundial, de que Leagues Cup es un torneo que le da impulso a jugadores jóvenes, así que ha sido muy importante para ellos. Let's talk about players like Gilberto Mora.
Yeah, incredible.
I mean, little baller. Let's enjoy him. I don't know how long we're going to get to enjoy him in this continent.
Right.
Hablando de Gilberto Mora, qué jugadorazo. Obviamente su futuro puede ser en cualquier equipo del mundo. Just to have that guy feature in Leagues Cup and what it means for the tournament, and what has that done for ticket sales? We focus on the players. We want the players. Our number one fundamental here is it's got to be a great game, right? Look after the players. Let's have a great game, and everything follows from that point. And he's been great because he's got behind Leagues Cup as well, and he's helping to promote, and he's helping to push the ticket sales, but also engage with the fans, right? And I think if you get that aspect right, everything else sort of follows. So look, I'm hugely encouraged by the players, and some of them have come out from the World Cup, and they're obviously having a break, and they're getting back into it. But they're into it. They're into it with passion. And some of those early Liga MX games, the season's on. It started. They've started hard. They started fast, and Leagues Cup's coming soon. All right, let's talk about. I don't know if it's just me, but even though we just went through the World Cup and obviously now the All-Star game, which I think it's a wonderful appetizer for Leagues Cup, right? That's how I see it. I see Leagues Cup more prominent. I see it in more places. Do you feel like there's more momentum? Do you feel like there's more, I don't know what ticket sales are like? What was that? Is that improving? If it's not, just lie to them, okay?
No, it's fine. Look,
le pregunto que siento que como que Leagues Cup está más, como que tiene un poquito más de peso, como que lo veo con más presencia a pesar de todo lo del Mundial. Creo que han hecho un gran trabajo para impulsar la liga. Entonces le pregunto de las ventas de boletos, ¿no? Que es lo que paga.
True. And
what about from partners as well?
Partners, true. You know, we've got great support from partners. Polymarket jumped in this year, and we are pacing ahead of last year on ticket sales, right? And we're holding our breath. We're watching it come in, but numbers are great. We're really happy. But you know, it also goes to show great work from the Leagues Cup team and all the people that work with us in the League MX, FMF, and MLS, and some is everyone's really put the work in this year. We understand the property more. I think the customer understands the property more. People are understanding that this is Leagues Cup. Hold on, we've simplified it. We've gone back to 3 countries, 2 leagues, 1 champion. Right? It is, these 2 leagues coming together. It's easy to say to people, if they say to you, what is it? It's like, well, look, it's like Ryder Cup. It's Leagues Cup, right? You're coming, these 2, entities are coming together for this competition, and it's great. And it's starting to build. So we're also targeting you personally with advertising, so you buy some tickets. That's what he's saying. But look, it's been, encouraging start.
Fantastic. Dice que la venta de los boletos está mucho mejor que el año pasado, que hay mucho más interés comercial de empresas que quieren asociarse con la liga porque está creciendo bastante. Es como la Ryder Cup, que es el torneo de golf. O sea, son 3 países, 2 ligas. Un trofeo, este hermoso trofeo, this beautiful trophy.
Sí, este año cambio.
Don't touch it. Yeah. Anyway, Tom, really appreciate you. We're really excited. I'm really pumped about Leagues Cup, and I'm sure that it's going to be a great tournament. Muchas gracias.
Thanks for your support. Thanks, everyone.
Perfecto. All right. All right, great. Well, that was a great conversation with Tom, and now let's bring it to the ballers. Come on, Marco, Fabián, great Garza. Come on, join me, guys. Venga. All right, guys, so really excited to have these 2 amazing players, great people join us today to talk about their experience with Leagues Cup. And one of the things that makes them different about many other players is the fact that they got to play in Liga MX, and they also got to play in Major League Soccer. They got to be successful in Liga MX. So obviously, without further ado, Marco Fabián, Olympic champion with Mexico, many caps with the Mexican national team, Chivas and Philadelphia Union, Frankfurt as well. So he's been all over the place, and it's wonderful to have him. And then Greg, obviously champion with Tijuana. You play with Atlas too, right? They didn't put that.
I don't know if we can sit too close to each other.
Play with Tijuana, campeón with Tijuana, and campeón with the good old days of Atlanta United that we don't even think about. It feels like forever ago. So give them a round of applause. It's great to have these guys here today with us to talk about. Okay, muchachos, Leagues Cup. What makes Leagues Cup different? What do you think this tournament means for the league, and what do you think it means for the players as well? And start with you, Greg.
I think it's something that I wish I had when I was still playing. It's what we always wanted. When you were in the CONCACAF region, you always looked at the MLS and Liga MX teams always getting to those Final Four or even the final within other tournaments. And now you just have something that's just facilitated the competition. And that rivalry is so beautiful. It's something that we looked forward to being on a Mexican team. We looked forward to playing Major League Soccer teams and CONCACAF tournaments. So now you have this Leagues Cup that, like I said, is facilitating this unique opportunity to see those amazing and magnificent games. And now having games in Mexico makes it that much more fun.
One of the things it stood out to me that in the beginning of Leagues Cup, we didn't know how players and coaches were going to react. We didn't know how serious they were going to take it. But once the whistle blew, you saw that there was a real opportunity for players to showcase themselves, and they wanted to represent not just their club, but the league and the country as well, which I really appreciate, and I think that's what the league has grown so much. Marco, ¿qué resaltas de este torneo? ¿Qué te gusta de este torneo? ¿Qué hace este torneo diferente para ti?
Sí, gracias. Bueno, como la Leagues Cup, pues bueno, vamos a hablar en inglés y en español, ¿no? Estamos los dos. Pues para mí representa mucho, ¿no? Como bien lo decía, ha ido creciendo la Leagues Cup consecutivamente a partir de que le inauguraron esta copa, que para mí me parece muy especial porque valoras el crecimiento de las 2 ligas y el crecimiento de los jugadores. Como bien lo acabas de decir, siempre se quiere ganar y siempre había la famosa pregunta de cuál liga es mejor, ¿no? Entonces, hoy hay una rivalidad. Para mí, siempre lo he dicho abiertamente, la MLS ha crecido bastante, tiene jugadores importantísimos. Cada vez los jugadores quieren más venir a jugar a la MLS y realmente pues van creciendo, hasta jugadores jóvenes tienen oportunidad de seguir creciendo, de seguir mostrándose y esto hace que crezca la liga, ¿no?
Of course, he says, obviously, this tournament continues to build that rivalry between Liga MX and Major League Soccer. He talks about, that big questions that we all have. No, it's not Cristiano or Messi. That's not the question. The question is Liga MX or Major League Soccer better? And obviously, this tournament spices up this conversation, and it's just a great opportunity for players to showcase themselves. We come from the World Cup, and there's a lot of momentum. There's a lot of players that are going to play in Leagues Cup that come from the World Cup. From your perspective, is there a player that stands out to you that comes into the World Cup with like real momentum after the World Cup?
I mean, you have players like Messi or players like Son or Thomas
pretty good.
Müller, that you enjoyed watching during the World Cup, and you still have this fever within all of us that's building and continuously, like you said, it was the appetizer for now this amazing rivalry tournament to take place. So I always, like you said as well, that you see a lot of young players come from these games and have the unique opportunity to kind of catapult and booster their careers as well. And players who sometimes might not be getting the opportunities in their regular league games, it just gives the whole entire team, the 30-man rosters on both ends of the spectrum, the opportunity to come in and make a name for themselves.
I think as a player too, Leagues Cup means something different to players depending on where they are. Would you agree? Like, is it like you say, Uri maybe in that particular moment wasn't getting a lot of playing time because injuries happen and things like that, or a young player sees Leagues Cup as an opportunity to showcase, or maybe clubs that in their league may not have high probabilities to win just because of the history and the investment, and they see Leagues Cup as an opportunity to win something special, win some money too, which is always very helpful. So I think that makes Leagues Cup very special. So I think it's really cool.
From the Mexican side, I will always say Gil Mora is my favorite player now. So there's another special player that you can watch in San Diego, and on the rise, what a young talent.
Exacto. Marco, ¿tú quién crees algún jugador que te llame la atención que viene con impulso después del Mundial?
Yo creo que bastantes, ¿no? Lo acaba de decir, uno de ellos es Gilberto Mora. Mora es un jugador que a pesar de su edad ha demostrado, y sobre todo este mundial, que está para grandes cosas, ¿no? Va a ser un jugador a seguir. Pero bueno, tenemos a Montiel de Pachuca, tenemos jugadores jóvenes, también en la MLS, ¿no? Que hoy están apostando por jugadores jóvenes. Para mí es importante esta Leagues Cup, como lo dices, también para mostrarse, ¿no? Al final, cuando mencionabas los tiempos, cómo lo tomaban los entrenadores en los ritmos de sus propias ligas, y de cuando vienen, por ejemplo, México comenzando la liga, hay jugadores que ahí se pueden mostrar para ganarse un lugar también en la titularidad dentro de su torneo. Entonces, al final hay boleto a Conca Champions, todos quieren ganar. Creo que conlleva mucho y eso atrae también a toda la gente, ¿no? Que al final es lo que queremos, que la gente tenga la emoción por ver la Leagues Cup, por ir al estadio, por ver la televisión y por aportar cada vez más a esta liga.
It reiterates what we were talking about, how the player's perspective is different according on their situation, and players get the opportunity to play maybe minutes that they weren't playing in the local league and stuff like that, and it just continues to grow. He talks about this just makes it better for the people that are going to watch at the stadium, and so that brings me to my next question. Because Leagues Cup is going to feature some of the best players in the world, right? It makes it really, really special. And so I think people are very, it's a fantastic opportunity to go to a stadium in Mexico, here in the U.S., and to go watch some world-class players like, you guys heard of Lewandowski? He's pretty good striker. Or Griezmann, who's apparently has Orlando City now trending up, and, they predict that they're going to end up top 4. I may or may not like Orlando City, I don't know. Diego Rossi, Hugo Kuipers, sonado Liga MX. So, hay jugadores de renombre que van a estar jugando en la Leagues Cup y eso obviamente le trae muchísimo prestigio a la liga. I'll ask you, Greg, which one out of, it doesn't have to be these players, but which players that are these big name stars do you think will have the biggest or a massive impact in Leagues Cup 2026?
I love Son with LAFC. I think his impact of what he's had over the past year and a half that he's been in this league, or not even year, has been major in terms of just developing a culture within a club that I feel like has already had a lot of success within this league, being still a fairly new club within this league. So, not even 10 years old yet. So it's very interesting to see the type of momentum that they have, or just the culture that he has created with one player within a side. So it'll be interesting to see how they do.
You're like, do you feel lucky you didn't have to defend him, or?
Most definitely, yeah. I had to defend this guy right here.
No.
It was also not easy, but I think you have Kuipers as well. It's always interesting to see, and I think it's that famous question of what league is better.
Yeah,
and I think you have Kuipers who's done tremendously well here in the MLS, and now has this unique opportunity to hopefully showcase himself. And what a way to start! You have Leagues Cup to kind of showcase yourself to the Mexican fans and the Mexican league. To get an idea of what type of player you are going to be in the league. We've seen different players from both leagues come to both leagues, and they might do well in one and might struggle in another. So it's always intriguing for us as players to
100%.
see those things happen.
I love that, because nothing's guaranteed, right? Success from one league doesn't mean success in the other one. We've seen it both ways, and I think it's also what makes the leagues very, very interesting. Habla obviamente de jugadores como Son, la cultura, su calidad, pero solo también cómo ha ayudado a crecer a la liga y cómo él ha adaptado a la liga, le ha hecho crecer. Pero también jugadores como Kuipers, que ahora incluso sigue siendo el goleador de la Major League Soccer hoy, creo que tiene 13 goles, todavía nadie llega, y ahora va a estar con Monterrey, vamos a ver cómo le va, pero nada es garantizado, así que eso es muy interesante. Para ti, Fabián, ¿algún jugador que creas que puede tener un impacto superlativo en la Copa del Mundo?
No, yo creo que como lo dice, ¿no? Hay jugadores que más que presión van a reafirmar lo que han hecho a través de su carrera, y de estos jugadores de los cuales hablaban, ¿no? Como lo va a hacer Griezmann, como lo va a hacer Lewandowski, como lo va a hacer Son. Yo creo que también eso hace que motive a los demás jugadores, ¿no? Nos pasó como jugadores que cuando tuve el placer de enfrentarme varias veces a Messi, a Cristiano, a Lewandowski, y uno como contrario te motiva al enfrentarte a los mejores jugadores del mundo, y al final la competitividad sigue ahí y uno quiere siempre ganar, ¿no? Entonces yo creo que ellos jugadores vienen a darle mucho más de lo que uno piensa a la liga, ¿no? Porque inclusive motiva a los contrincantes. Entonces yo creo que vienen a reafirmar, a querer seguir ganándolo todo, y seguirán siendo jugadores a seguir este torneo.
Obviously, you talked about all these players that are coming in to play Leagues Cup that have already won everything, but they take this tournament very serious, and what that does for the tournament, it motivates other players. It just raises the level, and so to have players like this, it's obviously really important for the tournament. A ver, this is a spicy one, dude. Which new signing do you think has the most pressure to perform? ¿Cuál jugador creen que tenga más presión para tener un torneo?
In the Leagues Cup?
Yeah, in Leagues Cup.
Probably Kuipers.
Kuipers.
Yeah, I feel that you play in Monterrey, you have to perform from the very first game.
Yeah.
And you have, like I said, this is an amazing tournament that allows you and gives you that opportunity to do so. And I think you have players like Griezmann and other players that are coming in the league that have accomplished so much already, and you have somebody who is still trying to build their career and get somewhere to hopefully they aspire to get to. So
really
playing, it's you have the pressure from both sides, but I do feel if you're playing in Monterrey, you're having a lot of pressure with those mountains looking at you the whole entire time playing in that.
Cerro de la Silla, that's right. Yeah, that's a really good shout. But Lewandowski he probably feels pressure too, because he has beat Kuipers, right? Marco, ¿tú crees algún jugador que sienta la presión de tener un buen torneo?
Yo creo que sí, las estrellas de este lado de la MLS, y coincido, Kuipers, yo diría que también de Rossi, yo creo que también pudiera ser otro que tuvieran los ojos sobre él. Y al final, pues bueno, vuelvo a decir lo mismo, ¿no? Reafirmar lo que viene siendo, pero Lewandowski, la gente va a esperar muchos goles de parte de él. Entonces en esta Leagues Cup creo que se le puede abrir la oportunidad de empezar a a conocer lo que es esta liga y empezar a aprovechar el que caigan varios goles.
Sí, claro.
Obviamente en México también habrá algunos jugadores a seguir.
Obviously, he agrees. Kuipers is a really good shout, but Diego Rossi as well. He has some pressure because he played for a big team in Mexico, even though he already had a lot of success in Major League Soccer. That's going to be a really interesting one. Last one for you guys. Now the tournament changes. Now the league is going to be played in Mexico. Some incredible stadiums, incredible cities. How do you think that changes? What do you think it means for the player and for the league?
I think in both countries, right? You have, I mean, you just see the Hispanic and the Latino nation within the United States, and it now allows them the opportunity to see, you know, if we had it back in our days, you could see a guy like this play in the stadiums within the United States. So I think it goes vice versa. I think it's an amazing opportunity for the fandom to continue to grow that fever, but also see players and have, you know, your kids have the opportunity to watch players that they idolize, and you get to see them right in front of your face. And I think that's the beauty of a lot of us Mexican Americans and being in these three countries of the World Cup, is that you at one point in your life you probably could have never imagined seeing them in person and seeing the joys on your kids' faces. So once again, it now opens this opportunity with this amazing tournament to have those cool experiences and moments.
Habla obviamente de la ventaja de ahora tener el torneo en México y la oportunidad para la gente, el aficionado, de ver jugadores de alta categoría jugar en sus estadios, que hace pocos años nunca hubiéramos pensado tener ese tipo de jugadores en la liga. And you know, talking about just the evolution of the league, I mean, 45 Major League Soccer players feature in the World Cup. I mean, that's insane. I think 27, 28 for Liga MX. It talks about the growth and the development of the league. Marco, ¿qué impacto te produce que la liga se va a jugar ahora en México?
No, me parece una idea fantástica, ¿no? Es una oportunidad, como lo dice, para la gente, y yo creo que también es algo de lo que se venía hablando en los torneos pasados, ¿no? Ya que los mexicanos veían como una desventaja el estar tantos días fuera de su país, el que se jugara solo en Estados Unidos y no tener el poder jugar a favor de tu localía, el tener a la gente, a tener a la afición, a la familia, todo esto que conlleva. Entonces ahora para mí ha sido una gran idea. Tuvimos la oportunidad de jugar en las dos ligas y sabes la calidad de la afición en las dos partes, ¿no? Sin desmeritar a ninguna, para mí las dos son fantásticas. Cuando nos enfrentamos también, me acuerdo la generación con Hércules, con todos ellos, y la realidad es que al final de los dos lados existe esa rivalidad, pero siempre quieres también jugar ante tu afición, ante tu gente, ¿no? Entonces, para mí creo que es parte de lo que esta liga sigue creciendo, y estas nuevas oportunidades hace que siga creciendo todo.
Sin duda. He talks about just, you know, besides being a little bit more even, for the player, it's important to play at home, not have to travel, be out of the house for, you know, a significant amount of time, and have the opportunity to play in front of your fans and play in front of your family, and to have the support. I think he thinks it's going to be really important for the teams, and it's going to be a significant change. All right, I have some interesting ones and some fast ones. Unas rapiditas. Okay, empezamos con Greg. Who wins Leagues Cup?
I'm going to go with LAFC.
LAFC. I can see Sun. Sun is, I think, es tu gallo. ¿Quién gana la Leagues Cup, Fabián?
¿Te lo digo con el corazón o con
hay que elegir un mexicano, ¿no?
¿Gana un equipo mexicano esta vez o no?
Esta vez le toca a un mexicano, ¿no?
¿Quién sería?
Yo me voy con Chivas.
Chivas, vamos.
Look, and we talk about it all the time, if you were to ask me over 10 years ago, and when we were in the league in Liga MX, we were licking our lips whenever we had to face a MLS team, right? We were like, yes, we get to face an MLS team. We're going to be a domination today, right? And look where we are now. We are in the parity of what these leagues are now. Is just, it's incredible to see the growth of both leagues, and
That's a really good point.
you know, just the competitiveness within both leagues.
That's a really good point. Habla de la evolución de la liga cuando ellos jugaban en la liga. Cuando se iban a enfrentar a un equipo de la MLS, ellos jugando con equipos mexicanos, se les hacía agua a la boca porque sabían que las estadísticas iban a subir significativamente, por decirlo de una manera. ¿Cuál va a ser tu club que te va a sorprender más? ¿Tú crees que sorprenda más? Como el caballo negro.
El club que sorprenda más.
The biggest surprise.
Pues posiblemente ya están las apuestas grandes a través de la contratación de Griezmann con Orlando, ¿no? Entonces me voy con Orlando.
Yeah. What do you think?
Chicago. I think
Chicago?
Lewandowski is a goal scorer. I think he'll definitely be somebody who will put his stamp on this League's Cup.
I think we kind of covered this one, but I'm going to ask it because maybe you have a different one. One player every fan should watch.
I think just from the fever of the World Cup, and I think Gil Mora is in. I guess I'm going to go. My Mexican side is going to go on this one, just to see a young man who is just an incredible player.
And it's from Cholos.
And also we have to be biased, right, from Tijuana, but. It's incredible to see the no pressure attitude that he has. I was with him in December, and he was with my 13-year-old son, and I think my 13-year-old son looked older than him, standing next to him in like some Adidas sweats. So I think it'll be fun to watch him.
Yeah, that's awesome. Gilberto Mora, obviamente un jugador para ver. Marco, te
Sí, coincido yo lo mismo. Siempre digo hay que disfrutar este tipo de jugadores que todavía los tenemos con la oportunidad de verlos en estas ligas. Seguramente lo he dicho que pronto lo veremos en los mejores equipos del mundo y hoy que está aquí hay que aprovecharlo, hay que seguir con ese apoyo hacia él y bueno, no quitar obviamente que todavía vamos a tener el privilegio de seguir gozando a uno de los mejores del mundo, con la cual es Messi, ¿no?
Claro, Messi, of course, and he enjoys that tournament, that's for sure. Toughest place to play?
Centenario.
Centenario.
Yeah, that's a hard place to play. Good luck.
En México, en la Ciudad de México, por la altura, puede ser, no sé, Toluca, CU, Azteca.
Yeah. So the altitude is obviously a factor, and it'd be difficult for teams to play over there. Even though Nashville was able to have success this year, huh?
Play Turco as well, so in Toluca, you're playing the king of Liga MX.
I don't know how familiar you are with the schedule, but I'll ask you anyway. Is there one MLS versus Liga MX matchup that stands out to you, y por qué? ¿Algún enfrentamiento entre Liga MX contra Major League Soccer? Hay varios, ¿eh? ¿Quién va a jugar? ¿LA va a jugar contra Chivas? LA, Chivas.
San Diego Cholos as well.
San Diego Cholos.
San Diego. I mean, I still have a house in San Diego, so I might go see that one. You get to see Gil Mora play against San Diego. So, I mean, this is a classic game. Yeah.
Rayados Inter de Miami will be a good one. Cincinnati, I think, is playing Pumas as well. Imagínate Evento contra Natán, ¿no? It's a good one. You can. Charlotte Pumas, a ver cómo le va a San Maxim, a ver cómo le va a San, right? Rayados Nashville. So if you don't know, he's from Nashville, right? He works for Nashville. But obviously, we can go on and on. There's going to be incredible matchups. And I really like the format that it's Liga MX versus Major League Soccer until the knockout stages. So I'm really excited about that. Muchachos, thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. Congratulations on amazing careers. And it's so good to still see you guys influence the game and helping the game continue to grow. Liga MX, Major League Soccer.